just days after Lando Norris was crowned the 2025 Formula One World Champion, the F1 world was once again rocked by a controversial statement from the man who had dominated the sport for the past 4 years. Max Verstappen, the four-time world champion who had finally relinquished his throne, made a shocking claim that immediately heated up the paddock. In a cool yet confident tone, Verstappen stated that he would easily win the 2025 world title if he drove a McLaren. The statement quickly spread and became the subject of heated debate among fans, analysts, and even his rivals on the grid. For the first time since 2021, Verstappen was no longer the world's #1 driver. After a long season marked by intense battles, strategic drama, and immense mental pressure, he conceded Norris's victory by a razor-thin margin of just 2 points in the final race in Abu Dhabi. A near-perfect end to the season from an entertainment standpoint, it clearly left Verstappen feeling hurt. In his latest interview, Verstappen showed no regrets or hesitation about his statement. He emphasized that the statement was not intended to provoke anyone. He stated that it was simply a fact based on his feelings as a racer. He realized that not everyone would agree, but Verstappen emphasized that he had no obligation to please everyone. For him, when a question was asked, he simply answered honestly. This statement was particularly pointed because it indirectly belittled the greatest achievement of Lando Norris's career. Verstappen seemed to be conveying the message that the 2025 World Championship title was determined more by the quality of the car than the driver's ability. In other words, if the roles were reversed and Verstappen were at McLaren, he believed the final result would be very different. This was typical of a champion accustomed to winning and finding it difficult to accept that his dominance had finally been broken. Reactions from Norris and McLaren were inevitable. A few weeks before the decisive race, when Verstappen first made a similar claim, Norris immediately and vehemently denied it. He called the statement absurd and argued that Verstappen had underestimated his hard work and ability as a driver. Now, with Verstappen repeating that claim after the title has already slipped away, tensions are sure to escalate. Saying this before the title race is over might still be considered a psychological game. But saying it after losing carries a much deeper meaning. It shows that Verstappen truly believes in his claim. For McLaren, this statement feels like an insult. After years of rebuilding the team, developing the fastest car on the grid for 2 consecutive seasons, and finally winning the world title, these achievements are now seen as the result of pure technical superiority. However, objectively, this debate isn't entirely black and white. McLaren did have the fastest car throughout the 2025 season. Their car is very strong on a variety of circuits, excelling in traction, stability, and downforce. However, McLaren also experienced more reliability issues than Red Bull. Several technical failures and strategic errors kept the title race open until the final race. On the other hand, Verstappen himself hasn't had a completely clean season. The controversial incident in Barcelona was one of the most crucial moments. When ordered to give the position back to George Russell, Verstappen instead made an aggressive maneuver that resulted in contact and a heavy penalty. This penalty ultimately became a major factor in hurting his chances of winning the World Championship. Nevertheless, many consider Verstappen's 2025 season to be one of the most impressive of his career. He almost always maximized the potential of the Red Bull car, which wasn't always the fastest. He performed consistently, remained calm under pressure, and rarely made major mistakes. His only non-finish came from an incident that wasn't his fault. Meanwhile, McLaren lost several crucial points due to technical issues and poor strategic decisions. The strategy error in Qatar, which allowed Verstappen to win the race after McLaren incorrectly called his driver into the pits, is a prime example of how small details can change the course of a championship. not to mention the internal dynamics between Norris and Oscar Piastri, which cost the team several valuable points as both drivers were too busy battling each other. Without these mistakes, Norris might have already secured the championship long ago. Before Abu Dhabi, Verstappen is well aware of this, and that's what makes him so confident in his controversial claim. While it may sound arrogant, his statement isn't entirely baseless. Verstappen is a four-time world champion, a driver with a steely mentality, and one of the greatest talents in Formula One history. Many believe that if he were in the best car, his chances of winning would be significant. But would he win easily? This is where the debate becomes even more interesting. Norris is no longer an immature young driver. The 2025 season demonstrated that he can handle pressure, lead the championship, and perform consistently in crucial moments. He won't surrender the title easily, not even to Verstappen. What makes this situation even more interesting is the context of Red Bull's future. The team is facing a major challenge with its in-house engine project for the 2026 regulations. Rumors suggest that their development is lagging behind that of Mercedes, Ferrari, and Honda. If this project fails, Red Bull could potentially lose its competitive edge, something Verstappen clearly cannot accept. With this strong statement, Verstappen seemed to be sending a direct message to Red Bull. He reminded the team that he had given everything over the years and expected a car capable of competing at the highest level in return. If that wasn't delivered, his future with Red Bull could be in question. This message was also clearly aimed at other teams. Mercedes and Aston Martin would certainly be taking this situation seriously. The rivalry between Verstappen and Norris is now officially at the center of Formula One history. Two generations, two characters, and two different racing philosophies are facing off. One brings the experience and dominance of the past, while the other brings the momentum and hope of a new era. A mental battle has begun, not only through on-track action, but also through sharp words off-track. The 2026 season now feels ever closer and full of questions. Will Red Bull succeed in building a competitive engine? Will Verstappen remain loyal, or choose a new challenge? And most importantly, can Lando Norris defend his World Championship title amidst increasing pressure? One thing is certain. Formula One is entering a new era filled with drama, emotion, and intense rivalries. And if Max Verstappen's statement is anything to go by, then the future of Formula One promises to be truly spectacular.
Love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not